you are new, normally at the 30-minute mark, we will do classroom for the first 30 minutes, and that's just going to be whatever the WW topic was for the prior week. And then at the halfway mark, which tonight the halfway mark was at like 21, 22 minutes, just since we're not feeling well, we're all going to stop and get some water. Tonight I am getting tea just because we are still so congested and still so sniffly, so I'll be drinking some tea tonight. Also, this is not our normal setting, and I wish that Barbara was here because Barbara craves seeing my kitchen and everything, the campers and everything that are up here, instead of seeing what we have at Casey Kitchen Center. So I'll also go ahead and put on my apron, and I almost said my robe. I'm that tired. I'll also go ahead and put on my apron for the second half. If you are watching this on YouTube, it's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. So if you're watching this later there, you'll know Casey posts the entire chat. It's usually an hour tonight. Going to try to keep it to 40 minutes. She usually she posts the entire thing as one chat, and then she will go back and post the second part as a separate one. So if you missed the second part, if you had to jump out early to go eat dinner, or you had something to do, I am going to get a sip of my tea, and then we will get started with part 2. Look at my super cute Disney mug. I got this the last time that we went to Disney. This is all of the, not all of them, but this is a lot of the, what would these be, ride posters that they have at Cinderella's castle. So when I saw this mug, I was like, I have too many mugs, but I have to have that one. Okay, so for the second half of tonight's chat, we are still talking about simplifying things. So the entire month of September, we are talking about, hello Sandra, we're talking about simplifying things. So I've been talking about simple ways to hashtag bulk it up. Been talking about that every week this month. We've done, gosh, you'll have to forgive me. Oh, and y'all all lost, by the way. All of you lost. So we are 24 minutes in, and this is the first time I coughed. Y'all were saying I was going to cough at like 3 and 4 minutes. So everybody lost. I made it to 24 minutes before the first cough. And John wanted to join in, so he has also coughed. But we've talked about ways to, let's see, we've hashtag bulked it up for breakfast. We've done, gosh, what all have we done? It feels like that's been a year ago since I actually missed a week. But anyway, so we've been talking about hashtag bulking it up. I even had somebody ask me what that meant. Buying, like, they didn't look big enough. It didn't seem like enough. It seemed like I was still hungry when I got done. So I started bulking things up and adding more 0-point foods to whatever I was eating so that it looked bigger, it looked better, it looked more satisfying to me. But that's where hashtag bulk it up came from. And it fits in perfectly now with personal points because we can add back points with non-starchy vegetables. And that's a perfect way to do that. So if you hashtag bulk it up with non-starchy vegetables, it's going to fall right into this. Tonight's version of hashtag bulk it up, though, is hashtag bulk it up, but I don't cook. So I have so many of you that are like, yeah, I love to watch your chats. I enjoy listening to you, but I just don't cook. And there are lots of different reasons to not cook. Sometimes you just prefer eating out. Some people are eating on the road. I know a lot of you all travel for work, and you're not anywhere where you can cook. Some of you are so limited on time that you don't get an opportunity to cook very often. A lot of you all are doing meals for one. Sometimes it's harder to cook if you're just making food for one person, and then there are a whole bunch of you all that just don't cook. You just don't, and there's nothing wrong with that. So tonight we're going to talk about how to hashtag bulk it up when you just don't cook. And again, it's not a bad thing, and there's lots of different reasons for it, but sometimes you just don't cook. Okay, so bulking it up. Most of the time we're going to be using a 0-point food, or now again that we're on personal points, a 0-point food is a great way to hashtag bulk something up. But with the personal points program, using non-starchy vegetables it's like a double whammy. So you get a 0-point food to bulk it up with, but you also add back a point for every cup of non-starchy vegetables that you bulk up with. So just a few things that you can use to bulk up, and then I'm going to actually show you how to bulk up a pre-prepared meal. So one thing I want you to keep in mind is portions. So if you're not cooking, if you don't cook, it's real easy to go buy things that are packaged in like multiple servings. Trader Joe's and Aldi have some great meals, like some 2 or 3 meals in one package or one container. Some of the prepackaged salads, like, you know, I work with a girl who opens the bag, dumps it in a bowl, and she eats that as one serving. I think Casey enjoys those usually as a serving. Those are actually 2 to 3 servings. So serving sizes, I want you to pay attention to that. Buying things that are in smaller containers, like these are a great way, these little minute rice things. There are a couple of different brands, but the little minute rice or quinoa or whole grain rice, or this one is jasmine rice and red quinoa. These are already in pre-proportioned little containers. So if you get some things in little containers, that's a great way to go to make sure that you've got the right portion size. There is a chat, didn't go to look it up, but there's a chat for portion versus serving. So these are a good portion, but these are also a serving size. Things like you can get little containers of like pickles. Pickles would be considered a non-starchy vegetable. You can get little containers of like carrots. You can get green beans. You can get peas. Peas would not be a non-starchy vegetable, but I think it's a good idea to just go back and double check if you're not going to be cooking a lot, if you're going to be using one of these things, to go back and just look and see, okay, hold on, what's a portion versus a serving, so that you're not, you know, sitting down to eat an entire container of something and then realizing, you know, counting it as 6 points and then realizing, uh-oh, that was 2 servings or that was 3 servings even. Keeping some things on hand that you can #bulk up with. If you're going to be traveling a lot, some things travel better than others. Some things go in containers, or them just themselves are more sturdy than others. I find that keeping apples, things like apples or clementines, in my backpack or in my purse, they're it's like a sturdy fruit, and not as many vegetables are sturdy. Some of them will last a little bit longer, but fruit, you can keep an apple in your purse for a couple of weeks before it goes bad. So I always try to keep apples in my purse. Some things need to be refrigerated. Grapes, I do like to buy grapes already plucked, already off the vine, so that I can get them in these little containers. And then if I need to use the container, so like if I need to drop this down in my backpack, or if I need to stick it in my purse to enjoy later, I've already got it. And that's a great way. Those are both 0 point. They are not non-starchy vegetables. Those are fruit. But those are great ways. Those are great 0 point ways to bulk it up. Carrots last a long time in your purse. So you can keep carrots in the refrigerator, but you can also put them in little individual baggies and keep them in your purse. They last not days, but if you pack them in the morning, they'll still be great, for lunchtime. Things like, believe it or not, English cucumbers. I think English cucumbers last a little longer in your purse than regular cucumbers do. I don't know. I have no idea why. If anybody knows, let me know. But those, last a long time. So those are some great individual things that you can do that are also going to bulk things up. So even though an apple or some grapes is not a 0 point veggie, it's still a great way to bulk something up. So let's say that you were going to go through Taco Bell's drive-thru and you got a Doritos Locos Taco. That's 5 points for that taco. But if you had an apple or some grapes or some carrots or vegetables, if you had a cup of vegetables, you could actually add back a point. Okay, another thing you can do, there are some kinds of beans that they provide great amounts of protein. They're very filling. They have a lot of fiber. And if beans if beans are an item on your 0 point food list, load up on these. They're a great way to bulk things up. You can use different kinds of beans, like this one happens to be a 3-bean blend. It's got pinto beans. It's got pinto beans, black beans, and red kidney beans all in one, so that you can add this to some soup. Like if you went to, let's say, Wendy's and got some chili, or if you had something at work that you were going to heat up, you could add some beans to that. But if you have not discovered I'm going to call it the blandness of chickpeas. Chickpeas are a fantastic thing to keep on your shelf, for those times when you want to add that, like if you're doing the salad, or if you're doing, if you're doing some soup, or if you just want to blend something up into some hummus and do some dip. But garbanzo beans, chickpeas, those are great. They kind of don't have a flavor. They really don't have much of a flavor. This is a great way to bulk things up, and they have a lot of protein in them. They got some fiber, and again, they are going to bulk you up. Keeping some prepackaged things on hand, like tuna, tuna packs, even flavored tuna packs. You can make a quick sandwich with this. These are going to be low points. They have these in salmon now, and I've seen them with chicken. I haven't tried any of the chicken ones, and I haven't scanned them for points. I have just used, all tuna ones, but these are great to keep on hand for that. Oh, I'm doing great. I'm actually talking way too fast. I've got probably 10 minutes left. Let's just take a break for a moment and sip a little. Okay, am I talking too fast? Because I'm trying to talk before I start coughing. So if I'm talking too fast, let me know and I'll slow it down a little bit. Yeah, and there came one. Okay, and when we finish up, even if I have extra time left than the 20 minutes, we will go ahead and wrap it up just so we can get some rest. But a couple more things I want to show you in case you're not a cooker. One is convenience meals like this. So everybody knows, I think everybody knows what Smart Ones are, Lean Cuisine, Healthy Choice, all these kinds of, frozen meals. These are great to keep in your freezer for, again, if you're busy or if you're cooking for one and you don't want to cook, or if you just don't like to cook. These are great to keep in your freezer. I have a quiz though for you first because you all have gone dangerously quiet. Okay, so I bought 3 today. And these are Smart Ones. So these are Weight Watchers brand Smart Ones. The first one is Salisbury Steak, and it's got Salisbury Steak. Thank you, Sandra. It's got Salisbury Steak and macaroni and cheese. The next one is General Tso's Chicken. And then the next one is Santa Fe Rice and Beans. So now these are part of they already have the points on them. They're part of the personal points program. And because they don't really have any non-starchy vegetables in them, they don't really have anything in them that's going to be super like 0 points for anybody. They already have a pick. So do you think Salisbury Steak, General Tso's Chicken, or Santa Fe Rice and Beans? Which one of those do you think is the lowest in points? And I'll give y'all just a minute while I get another sip of my tea. And I better look and see how long this one takes in the microwave, because this is, oh yeah, that's not bad at all, because this is the one we're actually going to make tonight. So which one do y'all think is the lowest? Salisbury Steak, General Tso's Chicken, or Santa Fe Rice and Beans? Okay, Yoli says rice and beans. Which one do you think, John? Okay, John thinks the General Tso's Chicken is the lowest one. Okay, Hattie says the rice and beans. And Sandra says the rice and beans. Okay. Oh, and Phyllis agrees with you. She says the General Tso's Chicken. Oh, and Marianne says the Salisbury Steak. Okay, ding, ding, ding. Marianne is our winner. The Salisbury Steak and macaroni and cheese only has 7 points. So I guarantee you if we open this, it's going to be tiny. The rice and beans has 9 points. And the General Tso's Chicken is 10 points. Oh, and Scott said rice and beans. And Mary uses the Santa Fe Rice and Beans to bulk up a meal. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to take one of these and we're going to bulk it up. But some things that you can bulk them, some other things that you can bulk them up with. I've got Steam and Easy California blend vegetables. I guarantee you it's going to be tiny though, Phyllis. I guarantee it. That's why we're going to hashtag bulk them up. We're only going to make one of them tonight, but I always keep, some kind of steaming vegetables, some kind of vegetables that you can add to it. I always have cans of green beans. I always have carrots. I usually have cucumbers, apples, and grapes. And remember, some of these things, if you add non-starchy vegetables to them, you're going to add back points. So keeping some freezer bags of frozen vegetables, again, that's not cooking. You just vent this, stick it in the microwave for a couple of minutes, not cooking. It's going to be super, super easy. So let's go ahead and make one of these and let me show you how to hashtag bulk it up. We're not going to make the Salisbury Steak and the macaroni and cheese. I'll save that for a different day. And we're not going to do the General Tso's Chicken. Tonight, we're going to do the Santa Fe Rice and Beans, and I'm going to show you how disappointing it is if you just do this. So if this was all you were going to have, it'd be super disappointing. This would just make me mad if I was just going to eat this. And this, not this particular meal, but this is one of the reasons that I started doing the hashtag bulk it up, because I would eat one of these. So look how pretty that is on the box. And look what it looks like in the container. So this one is a cook on high for 3 minutes and then let it stand for a minute. So we are going to pull back the film and we're going to put it in for 3 minutes. And did you all see my new microwave that John got me? So I don't know if you all were here for the last most disappointing new microwave. Yeah, because they're just so small. And I'm sorry, but all frozen dinners are that small to me. And that's exactly why I started doing the hashtag bulk it up, because I needed it to be more. So I needed it to have more food in it. I needed it to look like something. I see that we paused for just a second, so hopefully you all are catching back up with me, and hopefully you've not jumped off. But we are making the Santa Fe rice and beans. And oh, Sandra says I would put the rice and beans in the, come on. The internet here, sorry, is not nearly as fast as it is at work. So I'll just keep talking because it is recording. And y'all just have to catch up later if it doesn't catch up with you. Okay. So we got just a little bit. We've got another 1 minute and 18 seconds on that one. Let's just look at the others while we're waiting on that to come out. So they look great on the box. And I'm not saying don't get these. I love these. But definitely have to hashtag bulk them up, because just by themselves, you know, they're kind of puny. So here's how big the General Tso's chicken is when you get it out of the box. So not a huge amount. So there is not a huge amount of rice. Hashtag bulk it up. And then let's check out that Salisbury steak, because everybody was like, the Salisbury steak is the macaroni and cheese is the least points. Yeah, so it's the least points probably because this is going to be tiny. But let's see. But again, I like these. These are delicious. I wouldn't have purchased them if I didn't like them. But I do have to hashtag bulk them up. That one I would probably do with the steamed vegetables, the steamed frozen vegetables. Might even add some green beans. That would be really good with the cucumbers or the carrots. So there's that one, okay? Then you pull this out. Ow, and it's hot. Just gonna go ahead and say that it is hot. And we're gonna pull this back, pull this back. We are going to stir it really quickly. It smells delicious. Gonna stir that, and it's gonna go back in the microwave for 1 minute. But then I'm going to show you how small it is. Another thing I want to encourage you all to do, if you have space and time to wash dishes, I'm going to encourage you to always put these in a real, like on a real plate, in a real bowl, something like that. Don't just eat them out of this little container, because again, it's just not that satisfying. So we're going to put the film back on and heat this up for 1 more minute. And that will be about it for my voice. Well, my voice is fine, but that will be about it for me not coughing tonight. So do you all have a favorite lean cuisine, smart ones, healthy choice? Do you all have a favorite that you eat? So it seems like the Santa Fe. Okay, so here we go with this. So this is the tiniest little amount of food. So that is the wee tiniest little amount of food. There are a lot of things that you could do to hashtag bulk this up. So see how small that is in that bowl, and y'all know that I love to fill these bowls up. So here are a couple of things that I'm going to do with that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1/2 of a cup of corn. Now corn is not, it's not a non-starchy vegetable, so we're not going to add back any points for this, but corn is going to be a beautiful addition to this plate, and corn goes really well with this, you know, kind of with the Santa Fe rice and beans. And this is corn that we shucked processed, froze, so it still tastes just as sweet as the day that we got it. Then I'm going to add 1/4 cup of those mixed beans that I showed you earlier. So this has black beans, pinto beans, and kidney beans in it. So I'm going to add 1/4 cup of that. And beans, right now I have switched back to beans as a 0-point food. I had switched to potatoes, but beans were easier just to, if in desperation, if I had to open a can and eat something, beans were easier. So I switched back to beans. Then I'm going to add 1/2 cup of riced cauliflower to that. So now I've got some riced cauliflower. You could do more than 1/2 cup. You know, if you wanted to add back a point. So at 1/2 cup, I'm not going to add back 1/2 point. But you know, you could totally do that. And then when it's time to eat this, I'm going to add one of these little holy guacamoles. And oh yeah, sliced tomatoes would be good. Melinda's exactly right. Sliced tomatoes would be good. Lettuce would be good if you wanted to make it into more of a taco salad. But look how much more appetizing that is already. And if beans and corn are a 0-point food for you, you didn't add any points to this. So this would still just be, I think it was 8 points, 9 points. What did I do with the box? Oh, here's the box. So this one was 9 points. So we originally had this little tiny section here for 9 points. Now we have this huge bowl for 9 points because corn and beans are a 0-point food for me now. And then I'll just be adding, I think it's 2 points for one of these for me because I don't have avocados as a 0-point food right now. But add that. But I mean, check it out. That is hashtag bulked it up. So that is bulked up to the max. Okay, that's about it because I can feel the coughing coming on. We made it great. We're only going to be missing 10 minutes of tonight's chat. So I hope that you all will find something and hashtag bulk it up. I hope you enjoyed this chat, and thank you again for letting us end a little bit early so that we can rest. I hope there wasn't too much of a delay and whatever with our internet here at home. But we live in a super old building and it's all brick walls, so it's a little, harder to get good service in here. But y'all have an amazing week. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and let that next video roll over, and it's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. Go ahead and let that next video roll over, and because the next video would be the September one, I think you should do it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that button right there to subscribe, and then check the little bell